Hello and welcome to the walkthrough video for the first part of Chapter 5, where we're looking at the predetermined overhead rate. So let's assume that the following predictions were made last year for one of the plants of this particular company. We have total manufacturing overhead for the year and total machine hours for the year, and those are estimates or predictions. Then we have actual results for February, were as follows. We're going to determine the predetermined overhead rate per machine hour. Then we're going to use that rate to determine the overhead applied. Excuse me. And then we are going to determine the amount of over or under applied overhead at the end of the month. So to find the predetermined overhead rate, we have to make sure that we're using estimates or predicted amounts. We're going to take the estimated overhead cost and divide it by the estimated cost driver. In this example, the cost driver is the number of machine hours for the year. So I like to abbreviate this as POHR, which is predetermined overhead rate. So we're going to take the 15 million and we're going to divide it by the activity of 1.2 million machine hours. And now let me actually put the formula in here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we get a rate of $12.50 per direct labor, per machine hour, not direct labor hour, $12.50 per machine hour. That over a little bit. All right, now in B, we're going to use this same rate per machine hour to determine the manufacturing overhead applied to work in process during February. So for overhead applied, yes, I have actual overhead costs, but to apply overhead, I'm going to use the same rate and multiply it times the actual activity. So for applied overhead, we're going to take that $12.50 and we're going to multiply it times the 98,500 machine hours. 1250 times 98,500. And that is my applied overhead. I'll abbreviate again. So when we get down to part C, now it is time, let's see, to determine our applied overhead. So as of February 1, actual overhead was over applied by $35,000. We need to determine the cumulative amount of over applied or under applied overhead at the end of February. So the first thing we need to do is find the over or under applied amount for this month. And then we'll look at what it was as of February 1st to determine the cumulative effect. So for this month, to find the over or under applied amount, I'm going to take the actual overhead, and that was given to me, even though I can't see it, the 1,238,500, 1,238,500. And we're going to compare that to the applied amount, which was what we just calculated here. But I don't want to make that with dollar signs. I don't want to make that one with dollar signs. And then we're going to take the difference between those two. So we're just going to subtract them. So let me put a negative there. Now, if, and I already know that it's underapplied, and I know that it's underapplied because I underestimated. I thought it was going to be 1.231 million, and it was actually 1.238 million. So we're going to call that underapplied. Now, at the beginning of the year, we were over applied. for the beginning of the month, we were over applied by 35,000. That was given to me. So now I need to know the cumulative effect. Well, if I'm combining over with under, then of course I have to subtract those two. And because I have a larger amount that is over applied, and assuming this is not a leap year, let's get rid of those pennies. Oh, I subtracted backwards because I don't want this to show up as negative. Let's do D8 minus D7. D7, not 37. There we go. So just don't forget when you're determining the over or under applied amount, initially you're just comparing the actual overhead to the applied. And then if there's some already sitting in there, that cumulative effects you need to take into consideration to determine whether or not you are over or under applied. All right, that takes care of the one problem that you probably needed to see as an example. Again, if you happen to get stuck at any point in time, please reach out to me. I hope you found this particular problem helpful. Join me in the next walkthrough video or the next lecture video for the second part of chapter 5.